Hi there, me, Michael, your friendly neighborhood humble struggle soldier. So I've got a bit of a tongue thing going on. I think I bit it in my sleep. Apparently, I've been told or informed that when I'm sleeping, I snore. And it sounds something like a grizzly bear mating with a chainsaw. Yeah. So, moving on. So, we're going to do 2 videos today. Right now, we're going to do the Not Wordy Wednesday, and later, we're going to do Wordy Wednesday. So, let's talk about the big D. No, not that big D. So, those of you on that side of the room that went, woo, we're going to have a naughty talk. No, not that talk. We're going to talk about discrimination. Yep, discrimination. Multi-syllable words with a brain injury and a communication deficit. So I live in the Province of Ontario in Canada. So we're just going to go through what discrimination means here. This is not legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. I've never even played a lawyer on TV. If you need crack legal advice, I will leave in the description down below the link for my crack legal team at Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. So let's just talk discrimination. Yesterday, in my world, I was discriminated against twice. Once by a business, which I'm dealing with, and once by someone who used to be a friend, who that situation has been dealt with, so to speak. So, politically, and this isn't any kind of a political situation, politically, I'm a law and order type. You done break the law, you done does the jail time. Like, I'm not a big tree-hugging, hippie, man bun wearing, and if that's your bag, I'm cool with it. But don't try to convince me that rattlesnakes will never not be a rattlesnake. Don't try to convince me that it's safe to let any offender out of prison, regardless of whatever they've done and how much of a threat they might be. So this individual and I, in the personal sector, he's on one side of the fence and down the block, and I'm on the other side of the fence and down the block. But the fun fact is, we were in the exact same regiment in the Army. And when I took my gunner's course, he was on my gunner's course as a staff member. Now, I'm not going to identify the individual, and I'm not going to identify them by rank. So this person knows who he is, and if he watches this video, we'll get into that later. The other one was at a business. So there is no strict definition in Ontario of discrimination. There is a strict definition of harassment. So harassment is any course of conduct, comment, behavior, attitude, or barrier that is erected that should be known or ought to be reasonably known that would be considered unwelcome or vexatious. Right? So right there, it's anything you do, anything you say, and that could be email, that could be what is perceived to be a joke, that could be in a card, that could be, anything like a, So anything that is a course of comment, conduct, behavior, attitude, or barrier that is known. So obviously, if you walk into a group full of fill in the minority, are you going to start going, hey, you heard the one about the 2 guys in the walk into the bar? No, you're not going to do that because that's automatically like bad. So that is known. Like you should know that's a bad thing to do. Now, the other one is ought to be known or reasonably ought to be known. Basically, it's a sum up, right? You said something shitty, and even if you didn't know it was shitty, you probably should have known it was shitty. And that thing is either unwelcome, meaning, that kind of causes me a bit of discomfort, or is considered vexatious. It's like gasoline on fire. Now, the key test is, not the key testes, because if you've got key testes, that's a doctor thing. I don't want to talk to you about that. The key test is not what the originator had intended, had not been what the originator had designed, and what not the originator thought the reception would be. Right? I'm ex-military. I've got a pretty offside sense of humor. A lot of my friends are ex-mil or EMS or dispatcher or people that have dark senses of humor. So when we're together, we can use our actual sense of humor, because when you put civvies around us, they're like, what the fuck did you just say? Did you just make a... He did. He made a joke about... How can you say that? With the mouth moving things, that's how I did that. Right? So when we're around the civvies, we kind of have to put ball gags in because we're going to say stupid shit. So in the Army, I can say things and get away with it slightly more because it's the Army, right? But in civvy land, you guys get your panties in a bunch, you know? So, that being said, it has nothing to do with the originator. So if I make a comment, and even I meant, so I walk up to someone and it looks like they're dragging their feet, looks like maybe they didn't get a good night's sleep, looks like, maybe their clothes are rumpled, maybe they slept on the couch or whatever. It's like, hey, you're looking pretty rough this morning. What, are you saying I'm drunk? No, I'm not at all. I'm just saying you're looking pretty rough. Like, you think I'm a drunk? No, I'm saying, like, is everything okay? Can I do it? So you want to give me a cup of coffee because I'm a drunk? I'm like, no, dude, no, not going there. So my intent was like, hey, you're looking pretty rough. Anything, like something going on. Like I'm trying to start a conversation, and all of a sudden the other guy that's receiving it's going like, maybe he does have a drinking problem, maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's who he perceives drunks. Like, my shirt looks rumpled and I'm kind of gulping. So harassment has nothing to do with how you intended your message to go out to the world, but how that message was received by anyone in the world, even if the person that complains was not the intended recipient. Because if I have a conversation about something in a public space, we're not getting into that whole First Amendment bullshittery audit stuff, but if I have a conversation in public space, I have no reasonable expectation of privacy. So if I say something that is, I'm just going to use an example. I make a joke about World War II. About any shitty event that happened during World War II. You all know what I'm thinking about, though, right? And someone of a certain religious faith happens to be in the room, and they hear that joke about World War II, they might take a little bit of offense. Now, if you're having a historical conversation about it, and you're like, hey, we're going to discuss this event because this is a seminar about it, well, you paid for the ticket. Fuck off. So, that's what harassment is. Now, discrimination, that's different. In order to be discriminated, you have to be a member of a specific club, and that club is laid out by law. And the first part of that club is disabled. Well, I'm a 7-time member of that club. You'd never know it, but I am. I had a stroke, which is a brain injury. I'm done. Bang. That's all you got to know. I have 3 different communication deficits. There's 3 more membership cards. Then I have a mobility issue called foot drop. Yet again, another card to the club. I have a proprioception issue. Yet again, another card to the club. So I've got a couple more. We're not even going to go into them. If I got like one more card, I'd probably get a fucking free toaster. So now discrimination is subjective and contextual within a situation. Discrimination in Ontario, there is no definitive definition for it. But as soon as you treat someone either specifically targeting them against fill in the blank, or you start treating them specifically differently than everybody else because fill in the blank, that's discrimination. So we're going to go to the business thing first. So I walk into a business yesterday, and I have some business to do with the business. And I try to tell them, I'm a disabled person, I'm here to do this, and I've got a form from the government to help me out, and I just need your help with it. Well, we don't deal with that. I'm like, no, but you do. No, but we don't deal with that. No, but you do. But no, it's a warrant from the government. You are legally required to honor it. I'm a disabled person. You may not perceive me as disabled. That's irrelevant. I'm a disabled person, and I need help, and I have this warrant from the government that I'm told by the government you have to fill out. She wouldn't do it. So I was a bit pissy, and I managed to contain myself because yesterday I graduated from PTSD CPT counseling. That's the type of counseling it was, CPT, cognitive processing therapy. So I graduated, and I've gone to, a bunch of other stuff for various kinds of therapy. So I just like, you know what, I need to leave. I'm going to blow my top. So as I'm leaving that location, I grabbed the cell phones and I look up the business name and I find their head office and I'm like, I'm speaking to someone right now about that person. Because I looked at that person in the face and I said, I'm going to report you and you are going to be out of a job. You know, you committed an act of discrimination. Now, I'm assertive as fuck. Not everyone, this presentation will not work for everyone. Being that direct will not work for everyone in every situation. If you find issues of directness are causing people to recoil, you might want to think again. But I'm at the point in my life, like, you're either going to do what you're legally required to do, or I'm going to barbecue you for fun. Like, and I recently got the new Hannibal Lecter cookbook. So, now, I called the company. I'm dealing with them. The company's been amazing. That'll get resolved however it gets resolved. And I'm not trying to be litigious with them. I'm not looking to take them to the Human Rights Tribunal. I just want that person sacked because they're an incompetent individual. And then secondly, I want them to deal with the situation and retrain their staff. And I've told the company, as long as you can do a few small things for me, we're good. Like, one, I don't ever have to see that person again, so you need to fire them because they discriminated against me. And because they committed into an act of treatment, which is irregular, and I told them I'm a disabled person here trying to action something on behalf of a disabled person, that being me. Yeah, no. So that's one form of discrimination. Other form is when people make fun of you because of your disabilities. So a former friend of mine, and what I'm about to say, if this former friend is looking at this, and if you're having some like little hamster in the wheel moment where you're thinking you're going to come after me for libel or slander, okay, for libel or slander to occur in Canada, because I live in Canada, you live in Canada, so only Canadian law applies. One, I have to say something I know to be false. That will not happen. And if I do say something that I know to be false, then you can advance to the second element. I have to say that thing with intention to cause harm. Because everything I'm saying is true, I can't be causing harm. This is education, because I'm not going to name you specifically. And if anyone can happen to put two to two together that is on my YouTube channel, they're also our friend and they know what happened. So fuck you. So we were having a conversation. And again, this person has one set of political beliefs. I have something significantly different. That's okay. Hey, you know, I love a good conversation. I enjoy a good argument, like a good debate. And, you know, we're going to have a half hour, 40-minute, 90-minute debate. I'm going to bring up stats. You're going to bring up stats. And at the end of the debate, we're either going to realize our positions really haven't shifted much. Maybe I've got a better understanding of your position. You've got a better understanding of my position. Or you're just going to realize I'm right, you're wrong, get it over with. Or like your position is untenable and I'm the genius. So he left a comment via the Facebooks about something. And I briefly looked at it as I'm walking into therapy. As I'm walking out of therapy, I look at it again and I'm like, did you just say what the fuck I think you said? Basically, he made a comment that I'm too simple because I can't effectively do the cognitions. That there must be something intellectually wrong with me. And he left the Wikipedia link. So I clicked the Wikipedia link. And I'm like, you're talking about fucking brain damage. That is discrimination. Making a reference to an individual with a disability, or whatever else is under protected grounds. I'm only dealing with disability because I don't have the rest of them. When you target someone specifically due to their disability to make fun of their disability, to make light of their disability, that's discrimination. So the individual that I used to know as a friend has subsequently monkeyed with their Facebook account, deleted the original post, and I told them, hey, don't delete it. Like, if you put that up in the world, stand by your convictions. Don't be a fucking cunt and don't be a fucking coward. Right? Leave it up there. Leave it. If you truly believe that, I respect your beliefs, leave it in the world. He mean like, oh no, I'll delete it. Okay, if you're going to choose to delete something, you already know you're guilty. Because if you weren't a cunt, you weren't a coward, you would have left it up. Secondly, he then like, oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, great. I didn't ask for your apology. At no point did I ask you to say sorry. I wasn't looking for an apology. And then he's like, well, if you're going to still be butthurt, again, that's you manufacturing me being butthurt. I'm simply dealing with the fact that you won't acknowledge that you were discriminatory. Whatever. So that individual is never going to acknowledge the fact that they're a discriminatory cunt and a coward. They've blocked me off the Facebook. I can't even see their Facebook account. I don't care. I don't care. I do have a legal avenue of redress or grievance against this individual. And if I chose to exercise it, it would cost me nothing. Because even though they've deleted everything off the internet, they have forgotten about, servers don't have forgetfulness. The Internet Wayback Machine doesn't have forgetfulness, and screenshots are forever. So, and everything I've said is true. Everything that I've said in that context about that conversation on Facebook did happen. That is the truth. I'm not trying to cause harm because I don't intend to sue you. I'm not naming you. I haven't mentioned anything about you or where you're employed or how I know you, and you can't even see me on my Facebook or your Facebook anymore. So if you choose to come after me financially, come after me legally, human rights complaints are free, and I give my lawyer one direction. Not the boy band One Direction, because that was just wrong. I will give my lawyer one direction. Mission in 2 parts. Make him homeless, make him penniless. Mission in 2 parts. Make him homeless, make him penniless. Right? I don't care who you are. A him, a her, a they, a them, a z, a zer, a fucking unicorn. If you identify as a fucking attack helicopter, I don't care. Right? Don't give a flying fuck. You done pissed off the wrong fucking boy. Because, yeah. And all I wanted you to admit, like, yeah, that was a bit discriminatory. I wasn't looking for an apology. I didn't care about you saying sorry. You said what you said. You can't take it back. And you know what? An apology, no one has to accept apologies. Here's a fun fact. People say sorry because they want you to forgive them. People say sorry because they want to feel better about themselves. An apology that is unprovoked is cognitive dissonance. Oh, I said a shitty thing, but I can't be a bad person. I gotta say no. So, the individual in question, I never asked for your apology because honestly I didn't want it. I didn't want your apology. I was fine not getting it. I just wanted you to admit, yeah, that's a bit fucked up. That's all you had to say is like, yeah, that's a bit fucked up. And then you're like, oh, it looks like someone's a little bit too butthurt. Well, wasn't really butthurt. I was just kind of like, motherfucker, you just went there. I respected the fact that you and I had 2 completely different sets of political dogma. Totally did. Some of your political dogma is kind of way far off left field for me, because I'm a law and order kind of guy. Yeah, I believe the police should be given a job and they should be allowed to do it. And if you happen to get in the way and things get a bit handsy, well, hopefully there's a happy ending in the cells for you. But I don't believe in abuse of power. But that's now irrelevant. So, to the individual in question who's a cunt and a coward, you're a cunt and a coward. I really don't care to know you anymore. I really don't care to hear from you ever again. I'm going to maintain friendships with the people that we know around each other, and I'm going to encourage you as I'm going to encourage myself. We should never be in the same room alone together, ever a fucking again. Yeah. Because I'm getting my 5K back down to under 24 minutes, and I'm going to start my ruck running again, and I'm going to put on like a 60-pound ruck, and I'm going to get back up to 20K. So, yeah, I'm going to suggest you and I should probably never be in the same room again. Could be a bad life choice for one of us. So, because I have a brain injury. I can't control myself. You never know what might happen. I'm intellectually damaged. Asshole. Anyways, on that note, the rant herewith ended. So, I know I should have put a warning. I'll put that in the description below. So, on that note, that's my little rant about discrimination. Events twice yesterday. So I had discrimination 2 ways yesterday. Like if it was a restaurant, hey, can I get discrimination 2 ways? So, that's my rant. It's over. So if you happen to know anyone that's going through the throes of brain injury, going through the throes of stroke, anyone doing that courageous and brave activity of supporting someone going through the throes of the recovery from a brain injury or stroke, or even like major mental health or chronic illness, we'll throw that into the bag for a while. Hey, like, share, subscribe, point the channel up to them. They might get some advantages out of this, right? And then, you know what? If there's content you want to see me generate, you can description it down below, comments. You can contact me on the Twitters. Look for Stroke Assaulter. You can get me on the iGram. Oh, good old Instagram. Look for Stroke Assaulters. Or you can email me at strokeassaulter@gmail.com. I say again, strokeassaulter@gmail.com. So, standard outro. We all know it. So say with me, boys and girls. If you happen to see, either in yourself or someone around you, the signs or symptoms of a stroke, that being B, someone's having immediate balance, confusion issues. They immediately appear befuddled or confused. Someone has vision problems. They can't see in one eye. They only see in one direction. Again, not the boy band. That was a totally bad decision. They only see a little dot in the world. They can't move their eyes this way or that way. Someone has facial droop. There's a noticeable visual slackening of the facial muscles. Someone who can't raise both arms equally, effectively, or at all. Someone who has slurred, stuttering speech, inappropriate language for situation or context. Someone who can't understand speech. People's mouths are moving, but you're hearing the teacher on Peanuts. Right? That was speech. Shit. Face, arms. Forgot where I was. Anomia. Inability to stand unaided. General body weakness or weakness on one side. Immediate place that person in a position of comfort. Immediately dial 911. Immediately dial 999. Something so simple can save a life. And the knife hand thanks you.